Hey guys, what's going on? Welcome to another video and hope you guys are doing well today. Now, I've got some questions after Blizzcon and I want to talk about a couple of different things around it. So, obviously Cataclysm Classic has been announced, and as you guys can probably tell from my channel, that's where a lot of my focus is going to be. I was really excited for the expansion to be announced, and I mean, we kind of expected it, but it's still cool that it's happened, right? But I'm not sure if it's Blizzard errors, bear with me, or if they're trying to tell us something but don't really know how to. So, obviously, we've got no announcement date for Cataclysm, which I kind of wasn't expecting. They've talked about the first half of next year. The terms and conditions on the boost packs say the 31st of August. So, we have a rough end possible date, but I'm personally predicting around March next year. Maybe kind of March, April time. Now, in their Blizzard Classic panel, as you can see in the background, they talk about how there is, and I'll even try and bring up the screenshot, and as you can see, it's claiming 5 new zones, which is correct, 10 dungeons, and 7 raids, which some of that's wrong. Now, what's more confusing, so if this was the initial thing, and this was the only part right, I could almost move past it. Someone's made a typo, it happens, it is what it is, right? But then we have this, which was tweeted out around World of Warcraft Cataclysm. 10 dungeons and 5 raids, which is also wrong. Now, in terms of the dungeons, right, they've been consistently, they've said, oh, I'm breaking things here. They've consistently said 10 dungeons, right? Now, I don't think there is 10 dungeons. I think there's more. Or less, depending on how you look at it. So if we just get rid of these images a second and you look at this is the Cataclysm Heroics, right, that are available on release. So we have Blackrock Caverns, Dead Mines, Grim Batol, Halls of Origination, Lost City of Tolvir, Shadowfang Keep, Stone Core, Vortex Pinnacle, and Throne of Tides. That's 9. Right, I'm not going crazy, that's 9. Now, if they were to say, have counted Zolaman and Zolgarub, but that's 11. If they were to count all of the dungeons, End Time, Hour of Twilight, and Well of Eternity, that's 14. So the options they had was 9, 11, or 14 new dungeons. They did 10, and they've consistently done 10 over 2 different posts. The second then question is around raids. Now this is where it gets even more confusing. Is it 7 raids or is it 5 raids? Now, I refuse to believe that they could make a mistake this big at BlizzCon on, I mean, literally a slideshow. But something's gone wrong here, right? And just to let you guys know, there's 6 raids in Cataclysm. So neither of these are correct, right? There's Blackwing Descent. There is Bastion of Twilight. There's Throne of Four Winds. That's the first tier of raiding. There's then Barradin Hold, which is the Vault of Archivon. There's then Firelands and Dragon Soul. So, worst case scenario, there's 6. So, I don't know, right? And I think this has left more questions than answers. Overall, from what we've read about, and I've kind of done a video talking about this already, but the improved leveling, the improved guild features, they very specifically talked about in the Q&A, wanting to cater to smaller guilds rather than forcing Zerg guilds, which I'm okay with. But I'm not okay with the fact that they've given us so much misinformation around the dungeons and raids. So, what does that mean? Now, they've already talked in the past in the survey. Let me see if I can find the survey. So, looking at the Cataclysm survey, which is something I actually hadn't thought to do, it's really, really interesting. You can see how they've come to some of their numbers. So, this is what was listed in the survey, right? You had 10 new dungeons, which is right, actually, because the rest of the dungeons aren't new, they're just dungeons. What does it say on the image? 10 dungeons, which isn't correct, so even the terminology isn't right. And 10 dungeons, which Okay, they should have added new, but you understand how they've got to the idea, right? Blackrock Caverns, Throne of the Tides, Vortex Pinnacle, Stonecore, Lost City, Tolvir, Hall's of Origination, Grim Battle, End Time, well of Eternity, Hour of Twilight. Now, looking at this, then, you can see that they've not included Dead Mines, they've not included Shadowfang Keep, they've not included Zolomanals or Gorub. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. You understand how they've got to their numbers all of a sudden. 2 new playable races and 5 new raids, of which they've just not included Barradin Hold. Now, looking at this then, you understand how they've got to their 5 raids. Looking at this screenshot, 7 raids, not really sure how that number's ever come into account, unless... Now, I know specifically in this survey somewhere, let me find it, they talk about how interested would you be based on the following features. I'm sure somewhere they've added something where they talk about the potential for adding stuff into the game. Let me find it. Now, I can't actually find the post that I was referring to, but I know somewhere they talked about potentially time-walking raids or bringing old raids back to current content. And I think there's the potential that they're... I mean, because they've announced nothing, right? They've announced no dates. We know that they're working on it. We've had no alpha, no beta discussions. So it's still a little while off, and there's a good chance that some of the things that they're talking about could come in future things, right? In kind of future discussions. But yeah, I mean, this has answered some of the questions, though, around the confusion around BlizzCon. So overall, they should say 10 new dungeons. And, it's just not 5 raids, it is 6. Barradin Hold is still a raid, even if it's small. How they've ever got to 7 raids, I just don't know. So, I mean, we've kind of answered some of the questions. I feel like we've achieved something in this video. So, I'm going to leave it here. It's a little bit chaotic, but I apologise for that. Hopefully this answers some questions around Cata Classic. And thanks for watching. Bye.